Hey everyone, Dan Longman here with Priority Lending, and I'm here with your mortgage market update. All right, so we've had a lot going on this week, and we're gonna start with the Fed. So the Federal Reserve met on Tuesday and Wednesday. Their meeting concluded on Wednesday, and as a result, most of you have heard, they increased the federal funds rate yet again by 0.75%, so 0.75. So we now have the federal funds rate, which probably back in February or March, it was hovering somewhere around between a 0.25%. It's now as high as 3 to 3.25. So we've seen literally a 3% increase in the federal funds rate in such a short period of time. So now the market was expecting this 0.75 increase. What it wasn't expecting though is what the Fed said, or the comments that Jerome Powell made after. So basically he just said in a nutshell that inflation is not under control. It's not where they want it. So they alluded to the fact that they are going to have future rate hikes for the remainder of this year. So they meet again in November and then again in December. So right now, once again, that federal funds rate is sitting between 3 and 3.25, and their target price for the end of this year is 4.4. So they have about another, 1.25% to raise. So a lot of people are thinking they're gonna raise again 0.75 in November and then maybe another 0.5% in December. The only good news with this is that going into 2023, we think it's gonna remain flat. Their target rate for the federal funds rate is gonna be 4.6. So if they think it's gonna be 4.4 at the end of this year, you can see that's gonna be very little movement. So it'll remain flat. Some people think that they might even go a little higher in 2023, but then come back down to remain at that 4.6. So obviously the inflation has been a huge headache for the Fed. Obviously it's impacted all of us, as Americans and as consumers. But in my personal opinion, I think they waited too long. Like I mentioned back in March, they thought, this was transitory, but now they are just going, I think, too hard, too fast. And there could be repercussions, right? The unemployment rate is expected to finish at 3.8 this year. They expect that to go to 4.4 next year. I think a lot of this is what they're doing right now with the inflation. So personally, I'd like to see them pull back, and I think there's a chance that they may because of the aggressive actions they're taking. But once again, what does this mean when they do it? When they're increasing the federal funds rate? Well, this has an impact, first of all, on short-term rates. The biggest one that a lot of homeowners see this in is their equity lines. So, the prime rate has gone up the same amount as the federal funds rate. I mean, it was sitting at one time at 3.5 before this all started. Now the prime rate is at 6.25. And equity lines are tied to that prime rate, and most equity lines are prime plus something. So those rates are now gonna be in the 7s, possibly even the 8s. Your credit card rates are going up. There's a lot of consumers carrying debt right now, so that's something to be cognizant of. If you do carry a lot of credit card debt and you're gonna start seeing your rates tick up here, you might wanna think about transferring that for one of these promotional things for maybe a year at a 0% rate, so you can start to pay some of that off before the rates go up on your credit cards. So yeah, a lot of these short-term financing, car loans as well, small business loans, anything kind of short-term is gonna be impacted by this. So wanted to get this out to you so you guys are all aware. I mean, I know this sounds kind of, doom and gloom, but once again, it just all has to do with inflation. I think we're gonna get inflation under control. It has come down a little bit. It's not anywhere close to what they thought. Their projections were off on the consumer price index as well. They thought year over year it was gonna go from 8.5 to 8.1, and it went from 8.5 to 8.3. But I do believe there's a tipping point here with everything. We can't sustain these high prices. I think demand's gonna fall off. Supply chains should improve. They slowly are. But once again, the Fed is just doing everything in their power to control inflation. And as a result, we're seeing higher rates on our end. So look, if you are someone that's in the market to purchase a home, this is good news in the sense that it's slowing down the real estate industry. You are starting to see home prices come down as a result. Yes, I know interest rates have gone up, but like we have said recently here, you want to find the home, you want to marry the home, date the rate. You're not going to have that interest rate forever. If you can get into a house that you really love and need, I would do that, because real estate has always been a great investment long term. It usually always appreciates. So get in the home. If you can manage the payment based on the rate now, great. But you will have an opportunity to refinance. We believe it in the near future, maybe the next year, 1 to 3 years, because we do expect rates to come back down. But anyway, that's your mortgage market update. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Hope you guys all have a great weekend and talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.